Ooh, good afternoon. Good afternoon. It's Tuesday, January 4th, 2022. Ooh. Uh, Here in Atlanta, it is sunny right now, but it's cold. All last week, it was hot and muggy. Nah, I shouldn't say hot. Very warm and muggy. And you don't want warm, muggy weather in December or any of the winter months down here in Georgia, because that signifies tornadic activity will soon come. To vax or not to vax? That is the question. Good afternoon, blessed reborn spirit. Thank you. Yes, I'm feeling much better. Still dealing with a bit of a cough and some phlegm. And the fatigue is not as heavy as it had been. It's subsiding. I get a burst of energy. I can get some things done. But usually after I do whatever, I gotta go lay down and take a nap. But it's not, the fatigue is not like sitting on me like it had been for days. I slept so much that it seems like I had been sick for 2 weeks. But I really started getting sick the day after Christmas, the 26th. That was only last week. 9 days ago or something, 8 or 9 days ago. But it just seemed like I've been sick for the longest. Like I don't know, just kind of like does something to time and your perception of it or whatever. But to vax or not to vax, that is the question. Well, I got to tell you, initially I wouldn't say I was against vaccination. I just wasn't going to get vaccinated. And it came out, of course, when Trump was in office, and I wasn't taking nothing in my body coming from the Trump administration. However, and if it wasn't for this, I probably would not have gotten vaccinated. But when COVID-19 hit, it hit my hometown of East Elmhurst. That was a hot spot. If you saw anything on the news about COVID in New York, East Elmhurst was right there front and center. So far, I have lost over 60, yes, you heard right, friends and only one family member. But when I say friends, I'm talking about people I've grown up with, whether we went to the same schools, whether we just hung out in the neighborhood. These are people, whether they were the contemporaries of my older siblings, but people I wholeheartedly knew. And so last May, if my father was still alive, he would have turned 100 years old. And I wanted to go up to cemetery and put some flowers down for his 100th birthday. And I was like, look, you going straight to East Elmhurst. And that's just not wise. And so I started the vaccination process early May. And by the time I was driving up to New York, I had already got my second shot. Well, I'm here to tell you that had I not gotten vaccinated, I wouldn't say that I would have died, because it's just not my time. I already know that, it's just not my time. But it would have been a whole lot worse than what it was. I know that to be a fact down in my soul. So I'm here in support of the vaccination. Now, I understand after 6 months you got to get this booster shot. I don't really like that idea at this point in time. So I understand the trepidation that comes along with the thought of it. And so I'm just not even right there yet to uh, really consider the booster shot. Although that might sound dumb and stupid, you're already vaccinated, you need to get boosted. And yeah, I'm just not ready to go there mentally yet. I'm at the point of getting your Pfizer or Moderna, either one of those, not the Johnson & Johnson, Pfizer or Moderna. I'm there with getting vaccinated. I think it's important. We often, or maybe not so often, but we do get shots, if we're sick or whatever, you get a shot for this, you get a shot for that. I hadn't gotten any side effects except what did happen to me when I got my second shot. It's my skin broke out a little bit. And that lasted for a couple of months. But other than that, I was still protecting myself, still wearing my mask everywhere I went. I was basically acting like I was not vaccinated. And what strain of COVID did I have? I don't know. I want to say this latest one, the Omicron. I'm thinking that's what it was, because it seems to be super contagious. And from what I understand, there's so many people at my job, so many of my coworkers are out sick with COVID. I wasn't the only one. Please hit the like. Thank you. So it just seems to be super contagious. How bad did I really feel? Besides the fatigue, the worst was when I had that high fever and just couldn't breathe correctly and just out of breath. But I always knew when it came to the lungs that I would have to force myself to breathe, even if it was painful, because it wants to set in your lungs. And once it sets in your lungs, that's when you have like super duper problems. And so there was two important things I did that really helped me. One, it looked like the Lord said, turn on the AC and keep it on. And I hate the AC, but I had the AC on all week long. Although it was warm and muggy outside, but yeah, I just turned on the heat yesterday. Um, that was one thing. And the other thing was getting on the treadmill. And sometimes I have to just walk 30 seconds on that thing. I brought my blanket and my pillow downstairs in the gym just in case I wouldn't be able to make it back upstairs. And I stayed down there for about a good 3.5 hours, and I would just make myself walk on that treadmill. Sometimes I could do 3 minutes, 2 minutes, just at a time. Just wasn't pushing myself, just trying to keep my lungs pumping. And I think those were the two best decisions that I made that really, really helped. As far as the fatigue, I don't know what you could do about that. I was drinking Pedialyte, and that seemed to like give me an immediate kick. I would feel good for like 30 minutes, and then the fatigue would creep back in. But it's subsiding. So the point of me doing this video is to share with you what I just went through and to encourage you. If you have not gotten vaccinated yet, please do so. Other than my face breaking out, I haven't had any issues with the vaccine, and I'm sure it was extremely instrumental in curving how intense COVID was in my body. And so that's my experience. That's my opinion. I want everybody safe and healthy, whether I know you or not. And if I could offer some words of encouragement or inspiration that could possibly save your life or save you a whole lot less of malady, then that's what it is. All right, I'm coming to the chat. Mike Mills, hi. You need to be saying that to somebody else, Mike. I was worried there for a minute. Yeah. Thank you. Blessed to be born. They didn't have the VAXX when all of that happened. All them people died. That was before the VAXX even came out. Do I know anyone that has passed since the VAXX that wasn't vaxxed? Gotta think about that. I'm not sure. But the bulk of those 60 people died before the VAXX. This was in the early stages of COVID-19. Let me see. Do I know anybody that has gotten COVID since being vaxxed? Yes. Me and my friend Angie, she's home sick with COVID too. and she just got vaccinated maybe 2 months ago. Um, I was in the military, took plenty of vaccines, didn't know what was in them, and didn't care. Be money. Yeah, I'm feeling better today. I really am. I'm out of the woods. Just yeah, I guess. Well, I'm sure tomorrow I'll feel even better. I still keep getting slight headaches here and there. Like, it seems like when I wake up with a headache for some reason. I don't know. But nothing a little ibuprofen 800 milligrams won't fix. But that's been happening the past few days. I wake up with a headache. Mike. I haven't seen you in a long time, Mike. How you been? But yeah, if you haven't been vaccinated, go to your local Walgreens, CVS, or whatever, and just go ahead and get the shot. You get one shot and then you wait 2 weeks and get the second one. I know for a fact if I wasn't vaccinated, man, I can't even say I'd probably be in the hospital because it look like they won't take you for nothing. But I might even be on a ventilator by now. You know. There's a YouTuber here. His name is Walter Lee Hampton. So November of 2019. Now it was alerted to the masses in March of 2020 or February of 2020 about, COVID-19, right? But a few months prior, in November, every year for Thanksgiving, this YouTuber, Walter Lee Hampton, he's a big muscle bound bodybuilding gay man. He goes on a cruise with his husband. And they do this every year over the Thanksgiving holiday. They went on a cruise to the Caribbean a few months before COVID was announced. So this was that November. And I watched this from the beginning. Nobody knew what his videos were going to culminate into. But I believe they got back on November 30th, right? And his videos are still up. And by, or did they get back on the 27th? No, they got back on the 30th. Earl, his husband, was not feeling well. By December 1st, the next day, I believe Earl was in the hospital. By December 5th, Earl was on a ventilator or a respirator, one of those. Walter was making videos about this, and he was like, don't understand. Earl is in the hospital, and he's really, really sick. They think it's a real bad case of the flu. They really don't know. Da da da. And then on the 5th, he comes back and he's like, Earl is on a ventilator. He's in ICU, and it's really touch and go. And he's like near tears. And he was like, I just don't understand. We had such a great time on the cruise and everything. And a few days later, he's in ICU. You know, I think he was on a respirator at that point. And Walter was going up there every day to the hospital. He was making videos like 2 times a day, updating on Earl's health and everything. Christmas came, Earl still up in the hospital. Um, the new year came in, Earl still in the hospital. And maybe a couple of weeks after that, Earl started getting better, and then they moved him to like a rehab center where he had to learn how to walk again and things of that nature. And so by this time, it's like near the end of January of 2020. We still don't know about COVID-19. And Walter, if you could go back and just watch those videos, start from like November 30th. And he's like, they still haven't told us what it is. And, um, just didn't understand. And so, he had been helping Earl and everything. And then when it was announced this COVID-19, Walter came on. He was like, that's what Earl had. All the symptoms that, they initially were saying, Earl was fighting every last one of those symptoms, you know? And so that was eye opening for me. Last year, maybe exactly a year ago. No, in 2020. Yeah, in 2020. Um, my sister called me and she was like, Elena, I have been so sick. And I'm like, really? And she said, yeah, I got sick the Monday before Thanksgiving. She said, I've been sick before with the flu, whatever. I don't know what this was. Um, and she was telling me, she said, it felt like I had a creature living inside my chest that would only let me take a few centimeters of breath. She said, I'd never been sick like this. She said, I'm just now getting over it. So from the week before Thanksgiving till after the new year, she had been sick like crazy and not knowing what it was. She said, it wasn't pneumonia. At first, she thought for a while it was pneumonia. She's going to the doctors and just not understanding what happened to her until it was announced, you know, COVID-19. And that's what I had. I'll take you back all the way to September, October of 2019. I remember hearing at least 3 times, overhearing conversations of other people. Like was in the supermarket and you waiting online or whatever. And I overheard a conversation. The flu this year, the season started early and it's really, really bad. My cousin's been in the hospital on a respirator for the past 2 weeks because of the flu. I've heard several conversations like that. Yeah, the flu. Yeah, my brother got the flu. And he's been in the hospital with the flu. It's really bad this year, so you might want to get a flu shot. So COVID-19 didn't just pop up in 2020. I believe it had been here since, as far as I know, the fall of November 2019. As far as I know. All right. So again, if you haven't been vaccinated, um, at least begin to strongly consider getting vaccinated. At least do that much. And do some research. Talk to people who have been vaccinated. You know, whatever's going on out here now is super duper contagious. I just think everybody's going to get it at some point. So just be wise, okay? How many lives do we have? Do we have 9 lives like cats? Maybe, but there's no proof of it. As far as we know, we only have one life now. Some might believe in reincarnation. Hey, it's possible, but do you have proof of it? Are you sure? The only thing we are bona fidely sure about is that we do have one life, at least. And so I think it would behoove you to protect yourself to the best of your ability, and particularly if you have children. Be here for your children. You know? So let's really at least begin to consider it, do some research, talk to people, and let's be wise about this one life that we have, that we're sure about. We're sure we got one. We're positive about that, right? Now, we might get other chances, but, we're not so sure about that. But we do know we got one so far. And we may not have another one after this. That's not a positive, right? Okay? So if you have children, if you don't want to do it for yourself, do it for them. Don't leave this world before your time and just being a memory in the minds of your children. Who's going to take care of them better than you? Who? Nobody. So for that reason alone, please be wise in your choices and your decisions. That's all I ask. All right. Thank you all for listening and tuning in. I feel much better. I know I'm going to feel even better tomorrow. And I'm glad I decided to get vaccinated. And so now I'm at the point where I'm going to do some research about the booster and all that good stuff. And, I'm just going to make an informed decision. All right. And I also understand you don't want all this stuff in your body. You don't know what they're doing, da da da. I get it. I understand that too. But let your conscience be your guide and pray on it. If you're at a crossroads, you don't know what to do. You want to, but you don't want to, or you really don't want to, then just stand still and just pray about it. and just say, Lord, guide me. That's all. All right. I'm going to go now. Please hit the like. Thank you. And y'all have a great day. Bye.